I am here today to talk to you about self-love. Self-love is this idea that we should love ourselves. It's the idea that we should take care of ourselves, that we should accept ourselves, and that once in a while we should reward ourselves. Self-love is this key that opens up the door to the best possible lives that we can have. So we should all love ourselves, right? Haha, no. Self-love is actually one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard of in my life because it is the wrong key. If you think about it, that's like self-love only serves as justification for every single asshole in the world to love and continue to be an asshole. That's like telling Donald Trump to continue to be Donald Trump. And just by the way, everything I talk about today is about the inner self, not the external self. If you want to spend 5 hours in front of a mirror just staring at yourself and checking yourself out, then go for it. But unless Donald Trump is feeling a little down on how he looks today, he has no right to stand in front of a mirror and tell himself, oh my God, I love you, and I should continue to be myself, and I should continue to separate families and build walls that will keep the very people who built it out. In fact, in 2005, social psychologist Nicholas Elmer showed that the more we love ourselves and the more we believe in our own abilities, the more prone we are to hold racist or supremacist attitudes, and the more likely we are to also engage in physically risky pursuits. But it's not just that. When I was about 9 or 10, I moved back from Canada to Taiwan. And long story short, I hated it. I hated my parents for moving me back. I hated my sister for going along with it. And I hated everything in Taiwan just for existing. This hatred went on for about 3 years, which was when I first came into contact with the idea of self-love. And in the beginning, I really liked this. I didn't want to live in so much hatred or anger anymore. So I thought it was necessary and that it was time for me to start taking care of myself. Part of taking care of myself involved cutting out all the negative things in my life. And so with my ability to make really good decisions, I cut out my family and I cut out my friends. And in some way or another, that did make my life easier. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I had control over my life and my feelings and my emotions, that I was making a positive change in my life. From now on, the only direction my life could go in was for the better. But on the other hand, I was wrong. During this time, I felt so alone. I thought nobody understood how I felt because I never let them. And gradually, for the next 3 years, I spiraled down into a depression. At my lowest time, I found myself in the kitchen alone with a cup of water and a bottle of pills. But obviously, I didn't go through with it. But this scene of me hunched over the countertop with this bottle of pills, that was a continuity of self-love. That was a result of me trying to love myself. But its only effect was that it almost killed me. And that's why self-love can be so destructive. We don't always know how to love ourselves, let alone the best way to love ourselves. Think about the last time you made a decision for yourself, thinking that it would be good for you, but it only turned out to work against your favor. It could be that time where you took on a lot of work for yourself, and you thought that you could do this, that, but everything it got too much, and everything just crashed down, and nothing worked out. Or it could even be that time where you ate one piece of cake, and then it turned to 2, and then 5, and then maybe 7. But obviously your stomach wouldn't go along with it. So don't love yourself, because self-love actually holds the potential to destroy you as it did me. Instead, this is my proposition, self-compassion. The idea was first set forth by Dr. Kristen Neff from UT Austin, and as you can probably tell, self-compassion is the ability to be compassionate towards yourself. How do you do that? You treat yourself like a friend that you like, hopefully. Hopefully you have one of those. And whether you know it or not, your friend, you actually have one more friend than you think you do, and that one friend is you. So self-compassion is divided into 4 parts. 3 of them were set forth by Dr. Neff and 1 of them by me. So there's self-kindness, common humanity, mindfulness, and self-thought. Self-kindness is the ability to be warm and understanding towards yourself in times of failure, pain, or any form of shortcoming. Common humanity is understanding that pain, that's not unique to yourself. It's universal. Everybody feels some sort of pain. And a lot of people get through it, and so will you. And mindfulness is a non-judgmental, receptive state of mind where you take your negative thoughts and your feelings as they are. And finally, self-thought is the ability to understand yourself in your true form. It's kind of like mindfulness, except the only difference is that you are understanding yourself in terms of your negative traits as opposed to just your emotions and feelings. So to illustrate this, I'm going to take this. Let's assume like this is my friend. So I'm gonna assume that she has gone through everything that I've gone through. And for now, I'm gonna call her like Gwen. So Gwen here has just moved back from Canada, a farm in Alberta actually. She's pretty quiet, but most people think she's at least like sane. She doesn't talk about her parents much, which means that I don't know much about her family. And lately, I've been noticing that it's taking a lot more for us to get her to smile. It's whenever she's in a group of friends, she's laughing, but the moment she turns around, that smile wipes off. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, like maybe she's depressed. What would you say to her? Here's what I would say. I would say that it's okay. Things will get better if you let it. It's okay to feel the way that you do, and that you're not alone in what you feel. People all over the world have felt your pain, even though it might not be the exact same situation. And yeah, I get that you're feeling sad right now, but from what I can see, you are still harboring feelings of resentment and anger. And because Gwen is supposed to reflect me, she's like just shaking her head and like not listening to anything that I say. And so as I would to a friend, I would be like, dude, like you're not listening. If you want to get better, you have to start opening yourself up to other people. You have to stop being so narrow-minded. So that is self-compassion. That is what I should have told myself as I told Gwen, because that's what I would have told a friend. So why would I treat myself any less than that? But then again, there's the argument that maybe if I was depressed, I wouldn't have the ability to say stuff like that to myself. And that's why we all need to be self-compassionate regularly. We need to start today because we can't let the problem build up. Even if it's just the smallest of problems, take some time once a week, at least once a week, and just reflect over yourself. Get a doll, draw a picture of yourself, dig up a photo of yourself, and just assume that that doll or person, that has just gone through the exact same week as you have. If it was a good week, then yay, like celebrate. But if it was an week, then talk to yourself like you would to a friend who went through that exact same week. Don't let those weeks just build up. Make it a regular routine. Stop the problem before this problem stops you. So, moral of the story, be self-compassionate. Because when you do, self-compassion, as research has shown, is positively correlated with quality of life, curiosity, wisdom, emotional resilience. The only things you don't get from self-compassion are all the negative things that you do get from like self-esteem and self-love, such as anxiety and the need to be perfect all the time. So self-compassion, this is the real and right key to opening up the door to the best possible life that you can have. And I want to end this on a quote that I thought was pretty nice. We all have a little bit of I want to save the world in us. But I want you to know that it's okay if you only save one person, and it's okay if that one person is you. Thank you.